Hey everyone, we're back now. I'm pleased to have next up an interview together with Steve Fischer and Destry from USCCA's training division. And these guys, you probably used to seeing, especially Steve. It seems like you're all over the place. I don't know what's up with that. Big, bald guy like me, but
cavemen present well.
Cavemen present well. You've got that down pretty well. Man, make fire.
Protect everybody in the tribe. Yeah, it's. I've been with them for a while, so I've been blessed with an opportunity to be able to help promote the mission.
Yeah. And speaking of mission, I mean, you guys, I think where it would be appropriate is to start kind of from the beginning. What's the beginning of the training division USCCA? Oh. I mean, there was a time when I've been familiar with USCCA for 10 plus years now, and I remember one day, suddenly like, oh, there's a training division. Like, when did that happen? It just kind of seemed to happen. So I know there's a story there.
It's an absolute the story began once upon a time. Tim Schmidt and his family were students of mine at my martial arts school, right? So we met in like 2003, which was right when he began and launched the USCCA.
Yeah. So
we got to know each other through he and his family coming to my school 3 to 5 times a week, right? We became friends after they all received their black belts. And one day Tim came up to me and said, "Hey, I got this company. We're starting to grow pretty good. Do you have any interest in maybe joining us and coming on board and being one of my employees?" And I'm like, let's see, 35 years of teaching martial arts. My body's had enough. I would love to be rescued, Tim. What would you like me to do? He goes, "I don't know. We'll figure it out."
That's the best kind of job offer ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a scary one.
Right. So now I had to go and figure out what am I capable of doing. Geez, I teach. Okay, teaching is good. Tim, what is it that you want to do? And he's like, well, we educate and we train and we ensure responsibly armed Americans. That's our mantra. So I kind of fit into that education and training place, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, Michael Martin was actually an employee of the organization as well.
Yeah.
And he wrote this wonderful book, Concealed Carry and Home Defense Fundamentals.
Yep.
And
we just had him on yesterday.
You did. Michael was with you yesterday.
Yep.
And Michael, his path was leading him down a different direction than staying on board with us at USCCA. But he didn't want to leave permanently.
Right.
So he lives in Minnesota, and he resigned from the full-time position at USCCA, but he left us this book.
Yeah.
And as I'm trying to figure out what I'm
writing more books.
And
countering the mass shooter threat, for instance.
Right. When you find somebody that's good at something, try to get as much out of them as you possibly can.
Milk it, baby.
Absolutely. So this book, I was like, what? There's nothing like this out there for people that want to learn how to be a responsible American, especially as it applies to being a concealed carry practitioner.
Yeah.
Right? So we put together the Instructor Toolkit in February of 2012. And we said, let's sell this, because that's what we do really good at the USCCA. We sell things. And we put that toolkit out there, and people bought it.
Yeah.
And people bought it a lot. Mm. And what we started getting feedback from was, wow, this is really wonderful material, right? This is awesome. But then those that are teaching in the industry for years and years and years, decades, are like, how come you're not certifying anybody to teach this? I'm like, whoa, good point. We didn't think it through like we probably should have.
Yeah.
So in November of 2013, we launched our first USCCA instructor certification course. Mm. And then we went on a road maybe 7 or 8 times, which is very difficult. The logistics are very involved, and the cost is very high. There's losing money. We were losing money.
Yeah.
So we're like, how can we fix that? We're like, well, let's get training counselors. Let's get people trained to train people how to teach our curriculum.
Right.
And we launched that, I believe, in, I want to say, September or October of 2016. So now we have training counselors in all 50 states that are equipped and trained how to teach people our curriculum, Concealed Carry and Home Defense Fundamentals.
Yep.
And I believe you're one of those
went
training
through
counselors.
The training counselor program, about a little more than a month ago.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of March, right?
March 3rd and 4th.
And funny thing is, so you know when your stuff's on your website, because all of a sudden, like 2 weeks after that probably, phone call. Hey, I see you're a training counselor. I'd like to become a USCCA instructor.
That's awesome.
I was like, huh? What? I'm like, I guess my name's on the website. And, Jacob and I were there together. His last name is Paulson, and I'm Bowman. So who appears first on the list? And I'm on that first
Bowman.
page for Colorado. So, I started getting calls. I think we're going to have a instructor course set up here probably in the next month or so.
That's awesome.
For about 5 or 6 potential instructors. And it impressed me how many people have interest in becoming instructors with USCCA.
Well, we live in a world right now where, let's face it, there's a lot of threats to our safety and our well-being, right?
Yep.
But the beauty in our world is that there's more good people.
Yep.
And in those good people ranks, there's sheepdogs, right? You know how Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman talks about there's sheep and there's sheepdogs, right?
That's right.
I see sheepdogs here. I know there's sheepdogs out there. That's why they're watching.
Absolutely there are.
So we help those sheepdogs to be able to help others become sheepdogs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Educate them, train them, and again, empower them and support them to be able to spread the word the right way.
Yep.
So that the people that don't want us to be able to have firearms don't have ammunition to take them away from us.
Yep.
Foolishness is what's going to cause that problem, and we prevent foolishness from happening, right?
Yeah. Responsibly armed Americans, right?
Right. And that's
Destry, what's your story?
So I've been with the organization for about 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I came on board from a background of about 20 years of managing and growing large organizations and large networks throughout the country, as well as developing processes, procedures, and helping arm them with the ability to perform and do better.
Yeah. You know what this means, though, right? Is you were brought on board and, hey, we're going to figure it out. Steve, I like you. You can teach a thing or two. Now we got to get the smart people involved.
I wouldn't say it like that at all.
No, I would, because it was April of last year, April of 2017, and as we're moving this ship in the right direction, I'm like, wow, I don't feel like I can take it to that next level anymore. So I went into my boss, Julie Ledger, Tim's sister, and to Tim, and I said, I would like us to look into getting somebody that has experience growing programs, businesses on a national level.
Yep.
So they're like, wow, that's a good idea. And I'm like, thanks, I got one out there right now.
You're actually smarter than you look.
Yeah, exactly. Caveman got smart. So we put the word out there. Our HR sent it out there, and we had probably 200 people apply for the position, one of them being Destry.
Awesome.
And Destry went through probably what many would describe as a very intense interview process.
Very intense. But the exciting part about it was just going in the interview process. I walk into my first off, the company's very, very good about interviews.
Yes.
And it's very, very detailed, very, very deep. I mean, when the hiring manager, Julie Ledger, uses the first interview on the phone, that says something about how much they got into it. You're not getting interviewed by somebody that doesn't understand what this job's about. You're getting interviewed by the person. And then they whittle it down. And then when I first walked in, there were like 10 people around a table. And then I got to choose my seat. And the coolest part about it is everybody has to agree, and that includes the people that are on the team that you're being interviewed for. So it's a very, very detailed process, but it's a very, very open organization. So the culture is outstanding.
Yes. You were coming from Arkansas.
Yes.
To Wisconsin.
Yes.
How many times?
Four
times.
Oh, wow.
We hire very slowly.
In August.
Yep. And we fire very quickly.
Yeah.
Because our culture is so important to the success and the growth of our program.
Right.
We provide unprecedented customer service and support to all of our members. And that if we're going to hire somebody new to come into the organization, they have to fit that mold.
Yep.
And I was the top scrutinizer when it came to it. And it was funny because one of my best friends was one of the applicants for the position. And everybody that was the 10 people that were at the table were like, when it was all done, they were looking at me like, and I already knew that Destry was the one that I wanted to choose over my best bud.
Yeah.
How do you work that thing out?
Yeah.
Right?
Are you still best friends?
Yeah. Yeah. We're best friends, Bobby. I know we are, right? Love you. But we made the right choice, and Destry has been drinking out of a fire hose since September.
Yeah.
Because when he got there, I mean, I asked for it in April, and I was ready for somebody to get hired right away. Well, no. It took until September, and then when he sat down at his desk, I opened up the fire hose and I just started pouring information.
Yeah, I got the history. I got, I mean, I changed industries completely by coming over, but it's been exciting, and Steve's been the guy that's helped me get up to speed on some of the industry uniquenesses and differences, and and then I've been. I mean, it's been a great partnership between the two of us. I mean, he's done so many wonderful things. Him and Mike Brickner, Renee, and the other folks on the teams that in getting the program to where it is. So when he says I didn't have he just needed an extra hand. Yeah. So to be able to come in and work with this team and be able to just look to the future and define what that is together, define the steps that we're going to take to get there. Because as we look to continue to grow, I mean, last year we added 856 instructors, and we added, I think it was 100 TCs. This year we've already added 250 instructors and 55 TCs. So we're going to go on the road twice this year for TC classes, one time in Pennsylvania, one time in Las Vegas.
Oh, good.
So we're going to be
That'd
doing
be a good place for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a heavy group of instructors already there that are looking, that want to grow with the organization, grow with the program. So
also people want to come in. That's just such a easy place to travel in and out of.
Yes, it is. It is. So and just geographically, regionality makes it easy for people to flow in. So we're really excited. That'll be the first time we take the TC course on the road.
First time
ever. So
which, hey, that's cool because I mean, until now you had to come to Wisconsin, which is nice.
It's nice, but it limits so we're going to be in the fall, we're going to be in Las Vegas. We wouldn't want to do that in Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah.
So because of the weather, and you just can't trust it like right now. So, also, as we look to the future, our plan is to be able to release 4 new curriculums every year and then launch those out into our network. So our instructors always have something new and exciting and unique to teach. And we're going to continue to improve the quality of what that looks like, continue to work with different and unique subject matter experts. So really, an instructor can come out there and say, man, that would work great in my market.
Yeah.
Or this would work great in my market. And then we can get them up to speed, get them, brought in. They can be a certified instructor in that. They can come up and become a TC in that. Yep. So we'll have a variety of curriculum that our instructors, which is again a growing instructor base and will continue to grow, and so they can be certified in a variety of things, but it's all going to be new, it's all going to be unique, and we're going to continue to try to keep those things updated because there's really we're finding out, and I hear it all the time, and it's just shocked me as I've been a part of this organization just how impressed they are with the quality of the curriculum and how that flows out, the quality of the instructors. We were in Texas and we had a DPS officer that sat through one of the courses so we can get approved in Texas. And just the feedback we got from them was just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We started that process in 2013.
Wow.
Where we were what we did is we launched to all 50 states, and the states that are governed by county, we talked to the sheriffs. We're like, listen, check out our stuff, please. We want instructors to be able to teach this curriculum. It meets all of your requirements, blah. Well, USCCA what? Who are you? That type of thing. That's what was happening in 2013, right?
Yeah.
So we contacted Texas then, and one of our training counselors in Wichita Falls, Heather Riesma and her husband Chris, they knew somebody that knew somebody, and helped us get the attention of Lieutenant Nix with the Texas Department of Public Safety, right? Yeah. And he said, okay, we'll check you out. And he talked to Mike Brickner, who couldn't join us today. But Mike set this all up, and then we sent a team down to Wichita Falls because Lieutenant Nix sent one of his agents to go vet out the class. And he spent a weekend with us and went home and just wrote a rave review. Next thing you know, we're getting an amazing email from Lieutenant Nix saying that USCCA is now recognized in the great state of Texas. So that's going to open up doors.
That's amazing.
Everywhere else.
And I understand you recently have added Arizona as well.
Yes, Arizona as well. Last year we added Kentucky, Tennessee, and Connecticut. So in some varying counties in New York, counties in Colorado.
Yeah.
Because you're from that area.
Yeah.
And that's a challenging one.
Yes.
I mean, even as an NRA instructor sometimes, people would, you'd get calls from a county sheriff. Well, I got to check you out, Well, why? I have a certificate, Right. It definitely is a different game when you get on that county level for sure. But honestly, anything I could do to support I don't know if there isn't anything I can do. You obviously have smart people on your team.
This right here is awesome. I mean, just the opportunity to reach out and touch a large number of people. Just with the message of, hey, you know what? We're focused on getting out there and building a premier training organization. Yeah. Our goal is to save lives. Our goal is to train and educate. We want responsibly armed Americans, and whatever we can do to help get them there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is our passion. That is what we are passionate around. Mm-hmm. So anything we can do, getting the message out there, growing that instructor network where they can use, high quality material. And the best part about it is I hear from instructors all the time. We had a gentleman in, I think it was Illinois, and he was teaching our counting the mass shooter threat. And then news media caught it, and they went in and interviewed him. 2 news media interviewed him. Both of them played it as their lead story on a Friday night. Yep. And so it was exciting to talk to him because he's like, kind of helped prep him up a little bit, and he did a great job with it. It got that curriculum out there, and that was an organic news media generated piece, and that was such a wonderful thing. And other instructors have started seeing that, picking that curriculum up as well, counting the mass shooter threat, and no better time for it than right now. And really just getting the feedback from him and some of them, it's like when a student leaves my class and they walk away with that book, it's like the coolest thing in the world is it makes them come back. They want to come back for more because it's the quality of the shared brand of USCCA.
Yeah.
So it's such an exciting thing to hear.
I'll tell you that, to be honest with you, to honestly speak from the heart here, I was a little bit slow catching on with your guys' vision. As far as like, wow, they're getting into it, instructing and having, instructors everywhere, and like, how's that going to all play out? A big concern early on was are states and or counties going to recognize this and respect it? And obviously that's starting to come around. But here's what I see. I see an organization that is moving quickly, that is moving forward in a very organized fashion, and you're going places. And I'm very, very, very impressed. And I'm sorry if I was a little slow, but I am excited to be a part of it in some way because I see you guys are redefining the industry, I think, for firearms instruction, and you are now busting through, I think, a ceiling that was there for a long time that is outdated. It needs to be refreshed, and you're doing that. You're taking this to a whole new level.
Right.
And so, I mean, I'm speaking from the heart here, and I'm super impressed, and I know this is going to become the standard.
It is. I know it. I've seen it years ago, and I'm now experiencing it. We talk about the beginning days, right?
Yeah.
When was the NRA show in Houston? Was that 2012? Was it back then?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. We had a 10x10 booth.
Yeah.
We stumbled across it. We ended up getting it, and Tim and I were hawking magazines, and people were like, they were walking. They had a 10-foot berth around us. Who's that caveman? And who's that tall, handsome guy? Yeah, that was
right.
That was the yin and yang right there. And we're like hawking magazines and getting people to come into us, and they didn't know who we were at that time. That same year, I remember going to the SHOT Show. And we didn't have a presence at the SHOT Show. Right. You saw our presence this year, right?
Oh, impressive.
So in 6 years, we went from at the SHOT Show in 2012, I walked around with Kevin Michalowski. Many of you guys know who Kevin is.
Yep.
He's the associate editor and the director of content
He's
development.
the other caveman on the screen.
He's another caveman. Right? So
sorry, Kevin.
Kevin and his number one guy, Bruce Wahlberg, they took me to SHOT Show, and I chased them around from vendor to vendor, booth to booth, with people shaking hands, looking at them, and saying, and Kevin and I were stuffing magazines in people's backpacks and their bags and stuff like that, trying to get people to see who the USCCA was, right?
Yeah.
So, flash forward, and now, look at this Expo. This Expo is incredible.
Yeah.
We're running the live fire booth with mobile tactics. We got UTM, Ultimate Training Munitions, over here doing a shoot house. The lines have been an hour deep since Friday. We opened doors at 2 o'clock for elite members.
Yep.
By 4 o'clock, the lines were already an hour deep in both of those places. And the beauty in it is that it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, you get yourself into the Expo, and you can go walk back and see. We got 8 gun manufacturers out there with their guns on the table. You want to go see a gun that you haven't experienced before, and we're going to give you the ammunition and the gun to go into this range and experience it.
And how cool is that? to have UTM doing what they're doing, which is phenomenal, and also have a live fire shooting range inside this conference center.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And it's staffed by volunteer USCCA certified instructors that come in from
and training
all over.
counselors.
Yeah, because they just want to be a part of what we're doing.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's phenomenal. And like if I mentioned SHOT, you know, in 5 or 6 years where we're stuffing magazines in people's bags, you know, you saw USCCA all over the place this year. And the growth has been 40% year over year for the last 6 years. We've moved. I went from a building that was about this size to one that was about maybe a couple thousand square feet to one that was about 20,000 square feet to the one we're in right now, which is about 70,000 square feet. And when we moved in last year in February, they thought we would be there for 3 years before they had to build on. We're going to begin breaking ground. And you were there.
Yeah.
It's already busted
and
at the
having those
seams.
conversations, I mean, we just toured that last August, right? And it was still pretty new. You know, you'd just been in there for a couple months maybe at that point, right? And yeah, well, you know, if we need to expand, that was like the talk then in August. If we need to expand, you know, we can do this and this and this. And then you're there like 6 months later, and you're like, oh, yeah, we're going to be building on over here.
Yes.
What Destry and I can't wait for is our training center. I hope you're watching, Tim. We want the training center.
Oh, that's amazing. You know, so guys, thank you so much. You're phenomenal. Like I said, this is the organization that is going to be changing the standard and setting the new standard going forward. I see it, and you see it here. You see it in this crowd. You see it in the people that are coming here. You see it in your instructors. You see it in your training counselors. I mean, they are all top-notch people. You see it in your members all across the United States of America. And appreciate all you're doing, and keep up the great work.
And one last thing, Steve, did you want to talk anything about the defensive shooting fundamentals level 1 and 2?
Oh,
I can't believe we got this far. Are we almost done?
We're almost done.
We're almost done, but you better spit it out.
Well, who's next? 'Cause they're going to have to wait. They can't come up
John
here.
Wallace with laser software, yeah.
Oh, John will wait. He loves us. But, yeah, Destry, thank you for bringing that up. A year ago when I said to Julie and Tim we needed to bring somebody on to steer the ship, I also said we need to have somebody, we need a recognizable name that's got a unique perspective on defensive firearms shooting. Let's bring him on board and let's work a live fire instructor certification.
I wonder who that would be.
I think his name is Mr. Rob Pincus.
Yeah, you might have heard about this already.
Yeah, I think he probably talked about it, didn't he?
Yeah, we were on yesterday. Yeah.
So important dates to remember. If you are a USCCA concealed carry and home defense fundamentals instructor, you are already pre-qualified to take our first USCCA live fire instructor certification course. So the dates for that will be July 2021 in West Bend at USCCA headquarters. Okay, and then for those who can't make the July class, August 18 and 19, same location, USCCA headquarters in West Bend. Now it's a 2-day all on the range experience because we've gotten so good at creating these e-learning modules that the prerequisite is going to be to sit down and watch Rob's lecture. Okay, and it's important information to know, right?
Yeah. It's great information to know. It's fundamental to the live fire portion.
Yeah, absolutely. So that when you're in person here, that's what we can do. We can get busy. We can work like you did when you've been training with us, right? You know, teach backs. That's how important. If you're going to be a teacher, you got to show me that you can teach, and I'm going to help you to learn from my experiences. So remember those dates. If you are USCCA Concealed Carry and Home Defense Fundamentals Instructor, you can become a USCCA Defensive Firearms Shooting Instructor 2, July 20th and 21st, and August 18th and 19th. Just give us a call. Or send a nice email to our support staff, support@usccainstructors.com, and they'll help you out as well.
That's fantastic. Anything else you want to add?
Are we going to kick John off?
I'll let you fight that out with him.
I think we're good. I think, because that curriculum is the first of those unique curriculums as we continue to move forward and launching stuff. And it was great working with Rob Pincus on that stuff, being able to get his methodology and his philosophy and his training styles out there, so that people can really get touched by that. So, so we're excited to be able to launch that first unique, different one. More to come.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Steve, Destry,